Ship's log, celestial date 218.263.04. I have managed to communicate with the creature called the Gamma Ray that was emitting gamma radiation bursts and interfering with civilized systems all over this sector. And I seem to have been able to communicate to it so that it knows not to emit its gamma rays toward the big metallic things that it sees as other life forms, but of course we know as the ships and space stations that house civilization. Well, hopefully, the sector is now safe from the anomalies being caused by this gamma ray. Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is Starforged Alpha Cluster. We are getting ready to start our final quest for this character in this campaign, and that quest is to learn the secrets of the Orb of Nightmares, which Krista has hold of. So I think the first thing she's going to do is rest, and then she's going to plan a trip, which is setting a course to Relic and her friend Zephyr. Now, I think what's going to happen here is, if we get a miss on that roll, Krista is curious, and that miss is going to indicate that in the middle of the drift somewhere, she decided she couldn't stand it anymore, and she decided to investigate this orb that's in a containment field herself. And then I don't know what's going to happen, because this is the same type of orb, maybe even the very same orb, that trapped Wiglaf inside. This is a formidable vow. We're probably not going to make much more, if any more progress. We might make a little on the star chart. I don't expect us to finish that because it's an epic vow and it'll take so many hexes, so many checkboxes to get through. But this formidable vow, it's going to take 6 or 7 or 8, maybe 10 steps, and that's going to be the next several episodes. My guess would be sometime in the next 4 to 8 episodes we will have completed this quest, and that's where we're going to stop. It's certainly not the end of Krista's hypothetical life, unless she dies. But we won't be doing any more. At that point, we'll have almost 40 or 50 episodes of this campaign. And I feel like I will have done enough. And there's some other stuff that I would like to do and I would like to get to. And this is very time consuming. I don't think I will do this again. Playing it's fine. But then having to go back and rewatch it all, take notes on it, clean the notes up, paste them in here so that I have all the notes. And the name of this was the Gamma Ray, I believe. It's just very time consuming. For example, if you use the Mythic GM emulator instead of Ironsworn, the person who made that mod created a macro where all of the notes in this window, you can just punch a button and it gets exported to a journal entry. And so if I type a little bit of the role-playing stuff here, in between the moves, I could just export it and I don't have to rewrite, I don't have to write a journal at all. Right? It's not that I don't want to necessarily rewatch my videos. I usually rewatch my videos, whether it's the Scrapper ones or this, City of Heroes, this, whatever. I usually rewatch them, but having to take notes while you're rewatching them is a bit odious. And I don't know, maybe there's a better way to do it. I think one of my problems was I decided to write down every move. And by the way, I did that because, we made a mistake last time. I forgot to add +1, and this would have been a strong hit instead of a weak hit. It doesn't really matter. But, so that's one of the reasons I was doing it, to sort of help myself. But I think if I had taken more Spartan notes, just Krista goes, talks to the Gamma Ray, gets it to agree not to attack settlements anymore, that's 3 or 4 lines. And it would be a lot quicker. And it would make the watching of the videos more enjoyable because I'm not sitting there constantly trying to take notes every minute or two. So anyway, want to finish this up, but I don't want to just leave us hanging. Let's try to finish this quest. So the first thing Chris is going to do is she's going, now that she's gotten rid of the Gamma Ray, she's going to call Brink Station. And she's going to say, Brink Station, this is, gosh, what's her name now? I forgot. Jackpot on the Stormswept. And I'm seeking permission to land, and I've got some good news for you. I think I have managed to free you from the Gamma Ray. Now, this is an oppressive authority, so there's a lot of almost like a militaristic base. So they're like, uh, hold for us to check your transponder, and um, and then they're going to say, okay, your transponder is clear, you can land. I don't think there's any particular reason why Brink shouldn't allow her to land. They're trying to. So this on the planet? Yeah, so this is on planet side. So she gets into the atmosphere, and this is a desert world, and she lands, and she sees that they're starting to create farms all around it. And so she lands, and she goes to the dockmaster, and she says, "Well, listen, I just want to let you know." She pays her docking fee, and she says, "Listen, I just want to let you know, I've managed to communicate with this gamma ray, and I think I've been able to explain to it in very simple terms not to send its gamma ray transmissions toward outposts and settlements. I don't know if planets are going to be protected because I don't know that it knows that you guys are on this planet, but hopefully it will cause a lot less trouble in this sector." Um, and so I don't know. Are they going to thank her for that? Or are they going to believe her? I don't know. Let's ask the Oracle. Are they going to believe her? I don't know. 50-50. Did they believe her? Nope. Well, they said, well, if it's not going to help those of us on planet side, what good is it? Well, it'll help the orbital stations and so on. Well, we're not an orbital station, so what good is it? So let's do a sojourn move and see what happens. Right? She's spending time recovering. Rolling plus heart. So here's how we're gonna play this out. So she says, well, look, I did my best. You can't blame me if the gamma ray doesn't recognize a human town as the same thing as a ship orbiting a planet. It won't aim its gamma waves at ships or at orbital stations. It understands that big metallic moving things in space are apparently, alive and being hurt by its gamma rays. And it told me that it showed me that it has babies that orbit very close to the sun here, and maybe several other suns, and it's essentially feeding them and synchronizing their hatching by using its gamma waves. And so she explains what happened, and let's do a sojourn roll because this is plus heart, right? I don't think we have any particular pluses to this. What are the advances of this? Change this a little bit. Predetermined outcome, no. Preset die, no. We're not doing any of that. So, I think my interpretation here is if she fails, they're going to say we don't have any room for you and just make her leave. Right? We're not going to swear any more iron vows because we've determined that we're on our final vow. So let's roll it and see what happens. We get, oh boy, a miss. So in fact, they remember this is an authoritarian society. So what they say is, we don't know you, and we have no idea what you're talking about. And here's your docking feedback. You sound like a charlatan. Get out. And they just basically kick her back out. So thanks a lot, guys. And now we're going to pay the price. So let's see. Let me pause as I look at this. Okay, so I think what's happened here, maybe that Krista doesn't know, is remember Shelton? Well, a friend of his is part of the authority structure here, and he's mad at her because she killed him, right? And so maybe he's working in the dockmaster's office, and so they reject it. So she can't sojourn here. So she's going to have to go back to Relic Station and try to sojourn there after she gets there. But here's the problem for Krista. Like I said, she's curious. So we have to hope we don't miss again, because if she misses her trip back, so this is going to be setting a course, that means that the curiosity got the best of her, and in the middle of the drift somewhere over here, she's going to try to examine this thing, and that could be trouble. So let's see what happens. She's going to set a course. She gets back into her ship, kind of dejected, flies out of the atmosphere, grumbles about it a little bit, and then she's going to radio um, Zephyr and say, "Listen, I've got an artifact for you, and we need to take a look at it, and it's potentially dangerous. So just get ready and get the lab set up, and I'm coming." And then she is going to set a course. And so here we are rolling. This is interesting. It doesn't rolling plus supply, but it's not interestingly showing that up here. Plus stat. I don't know. I feel like this is not entirely upgraded. Like they're still working on it. So we'll see how it goes. Plus supply. So this should be plus 4. So it should be a 7. Yep. Against a 5 and a 3. Strong hit. So they've clearly changed some of the way the fonts work and everything. So we reach our destination, and the situation there favors us. So Krista manages to keep her willpower, keep her curiosity in check. And she manages to get to Carrion and Relic Station without any difficulties. She has to pop out of the drift here at Cinder and then pop back out of the drift here. And when she arrives, remember that we have 2 connections here, Dagger and Rowena, both of whom are connections. And Rowena gives some scholarship bonus and explorer bonus, and Zephyr gives archaeology, xenoarchaeology research. And so she's got +2 bonus and a +2 momentum on a hit when she helps. And so I think that's actually really good. So she can assist Krista. So we've made it to Relic Station, and I think that is the first mark of progress. The first step was to get to Relic. So Krista arrives, and she docks, and then she gets off, and she goes to the lab where Zephyr and Dagger are kind of waiting for her. And she says, and she brings the orb inside this magnetic containment field, and she places it on a lab bench. And the other 2 women lean over, and ooh, what is that? And Dagger goes to reach like through the containment field, and Krista grabs her hand and says, "Careful. This thing mind controlled a whole entire station worth of people back on, what was it called? On Reverie. And I don't think we should take it out of this containment field because it's sort of being held in stasis. But we need to examine it. We need to find out more about it." And so Zephyr says, well, so it seems like what we need is a larger containment field that will enable us to manipulate it and get instrumentation inside. But we don't have anything like that here. So we're going to need to gather some materials to create a larger containment field here. And she says, "Let me take some initial scans through your containment field and see what I can find out." And so they're going to set up their whatever equipment scanning around the outside of the containment field and sort of scan it through the field. This is going to limit how much information they can get. But I think they can possibly gain a little bit of information about what they're going to need. So we're going to gather information, and we got +2 because of Rowena, right, helping, and we'll get +2 momentum on a hit. And so they're working together, all 3 of the ladies, to see if they can get some readings of what kind of energy is this thing emitting through the containment field. What exactly is the containment field doing to interfere with this thing? Can they replicate the containment field on a larger scale? And if they do, will this long-term be able to hold this orb in stasis? Is there some way they can take it out of stasis and still use it or find out about what it can do? So here's gather information, and we get a weak hit. So on a hit, we get +2 extra momentum, so we get a +3 momentum. So we're at max, and the information provides a new insight, but also complicates the quest. So I think what this is going to mean is that they learn what they need to do to contain this thing and safely examine it, but they don't have the materials here on Relic Station. Okay, so what what they find out is they're looking at the readings, the energy emanations. I think what this is, and I'm not going to roll for it, is this orb is magical, right? It's not scientific. It is arcane. It is necromantic. It is some kind of a magical psionic thing that is not something you can deal with using regular magnetism or force fields or anything other than science. And so, in fact, what Zephyr is going to say is, Krista, you have to understand that this is some kind of a mystical, supernatural force that this thing is that's emanating from this thing. We can't get specific readings, but I don't know how much you know about what people call magic, but you can't block magic with science. You can't block the supernatural with nature. We need the supernatural. We're going to have to get some magical power, right? Not generating a magnetic field, but a magical field to contain this thing safely. And we're going to need some kind of a magical device to scan and understand it, right? And so what we learn here, right? We took the orb to Zephyr, right? And now we need a way to safely examine it. So step 2 is find out what we need, which we just did. So I think that's another progress. But then step 3 is going to be find a magical artifact capable of scanning the orb. And also, well, that's actually step 4, because step 3 is going to be find a magical power source that can contain the orb, or generate, so it can generate magic power to shield from the orb, right? So we need to do that. So these aren't going to necessarily be the task checks because there's going to be sub-steps within here, but right, once that's done, then we're going to scan the orb, right? Scan and find out about the orb and learn its nature. And that's probably going to be the progress move, right? So what I'm seeing here is, so she needs a magical power source, and she needs a magical artifact capable of scanning it. So we're going to need, like, essentially we need, for lack of a better term, we need like an identify spell, something that can cast identify, and we need, I misspelled this. And we need something that can cast, I don't say dispel magic, but like magic barrier, right? Shield. And so she's going to need something, either something that can do both or two different things. And so now the question is, does Zephyr know what we need? So Krista says, well, okay, we need objects that'll do these things. What are they? So does Zephyr know? Let's secure an advantage. Okay. Let's see, does Zephyr know whether, like, where to find these things? And I think on a strong hit, she knows both of them. On a weak hit, she knows one. And the other one, Krista's going to have to somehow find out. So let's secure an advantage and see what happens. We got 10 momentum, so we got a good shot at a strong hit. So Krista says, okay, where can I find these things? And Zephyr is using expertise, focus, etc. here, right? And we got +2. Can she tell us where to go? Rolling wits. And we get a strong hit with a match. So not only do we not need to use momentum, we got +1 on our next move. Zephyr knows exactly what we need. And so I think with a match, right? So this is sort of an opportunity now, right? Um, is it the case that this means that not only does Zephyr know what this thing is, or what these two things are, but she knows where they are? I think that's likely. In fact, I'm not even going to roll for it. I'm going to say, since we got a strong hit with a match and an opportunity, yes, Zephyr knows where to go and what they are. So now we're going to have to do some rolling. So let's see, what are the two items? So let's look up descriptor and focus. So let me open this again. So the magical power source that can shield us from the orb, right? What is it? Descriptor focus. And we get a stolen liquid. Okay. So this is actually some kind of a liquid. So it's a fuel of some sort, right? So, what kind of a fuel would it be? A stolen liquid. So somebody's got it. So I think, I mean, is it our buddies? Right? Is it these guys? The Shattered Federation? I think that's likely. Is it the Shattered Feds? Whoops. Yep. So the Shattered Federation has it. So we're going to have to get in there. And let me turn this, let me pause this. I'm going to make this a little prettier and then I'll bring you back. Okay. So the stolen liquid is owned by the Shattered Federation, or stolen by them. All right. So this is going to be called Uncanny Quicksilver. Stolen by the Shattered Federation from where? Maybe from Relic a couple years ago. So that's why Zephyr knows about it. So she's going to have to go get the Uncanny Quicksilver from the Shattered Federation. And then we need to be able to scan the orb. So what item can scan the orb? So this is going to be a secret facility. Huh. A secret facility. So instead, we're going to take the orb to a mystical vault that can scan it safely. So we're going to have to bring this uncanny Quicksilver in some sort of a large tank, you know, like a cylinder tank, like a gallon, a couple gallons, like a carboy. And we're going to have to bring that to this mystical vault and use the Quicksilver to power a containment field, set up the containment field, and deal with it, right? So let me pause here while I actually write this quest out, and then I'll bring you back, and we've got it ready to go. All right, so I think we've got it set up. We're going to need to get into Farpoint somehow. We're going to need to steal the uncanny Quicksilver from the Shattered Federation. We're going to need to escape from Farpoint. Then we're going to need to travel to the Mystical Vault, which I'll name in between episodes because we're going to do Farpoint first. Delve the vault to the Sanctum. Once in the Sanctum, set up the containment field. Then we're going to have probably 8 progress unless there's reason to add more. And then we're going to make a progress move and see if we succeed. And if we fail, I think Krista, Zephyr, and Dagger, if she's with them, are probably going to get sucked into the Orb of Nightmares with Wiglaf. So we'll see what happens. Let's start by she's got to plan her way into Farpoint. Right, so somehow we've got to get into the Shattered Federation. Right, this is our faction here. They've marked Christopher Vengeance, right, because they know that she killed one of their men. She's done all kinds of crap to them. They're really, really ticked off. And so, how is she going to get in there? I think the first thing she's going to say is, all right, well, we're going to have to plan this out. We're going to have to think about it. And for now, I am going to take a break. So she's going to get a hotel room and she's going to sojourn. And we got 10 momentum, so hopefully we'll be able to get a hit here and do some healing and heartening and that sort of thing. So let's roll. And we have +1 on our next move, right? Whoops. From Secure Advantage. And we get, oh, wow, an opportunity. Strong hit with a match. Another match. So, at a strong hit, we could use 2 recover moves, heal, hearten, and repair. Or resupply. Do we need to repair the ship? We do. We need a bunch of stuff, right? I think we definitely want to heal. I think we want to heal and hearten. And we're just going to leave the supply at 4. So now we have an opportunity. And so if we look at heal and hearten, do we get anything? On a strong hit, take +2 health. Yeah, we only needed 1 for each. Do we need to repair our bots? No, the bot's okay. How about the exosuit? Exosuit's good. So everything's mostly good. Don't have any experience to spend. So I think we're in pretty good shape. But we got an opportunity. So let me think about what that opportunity might be. So Krista, goes back to her hotel room. She rests, she recovers, she has room service, she has a nice meal. And then she's going through and surfing the weave, right? And she's probably, while she's resting, like looking stuff up about Farpoint and thinking about how she's going to get into this base. And so what's the opportunity that comes up? Is there not an opportunity? Is there an opportunity within the faction? There isn't. So I guess we can do story clue. Just see what it tells us. We get an 88. Suggest an imposter or forgery. Okay. So she's going to be an imposter somehow. So let me think about this. All right, so I look back over my notes, and it looks like the last time we got to Relic. Remember, Relic Station is built in the dead body of a giant gamma ray, and they use the gamma radiation to sort of sweep the area to try and deactivate enemy ships, and you need a passphrase. And as a hacker mainframe, our buddy was able to come up with some of those passphrases because they've got some back doors into Relic Station. So mainframe might be able to help us out. And the other thing is, the last time we went in with a Stinger ship. So because we have an opportunity here, I think what happens is, as she's watching the news, Krista discovers that one of the Shattered Federation ships is, like, again, sort of docked here at Relic. I think we had one docked here before. That it was disabled or something, and they hauled it in here, and they're repairing it. And maybe they're doing it for the Shattered Federation, maybe they're not. But she realizes that that it's here, and so if she can use the Stinger ship to get over here and sort of fake them out again with a fake code, right? Remember, the last time there was like a code to a landing code. What was it called? Let me go to the compendium. Um, it was, if we go to arrival at Farpoint, right? She had a passphrase, right, that allowed them to get through, that mainframe was able to give her. So obviously they change the passphrases all the time. So what she's going to see is, can mainframe give her the passphrase that she needs? And if he can, then she's going to try to get in there and trick them again. She's also going to need to probably disguise herself because they know what she looks like. So when she's getting ready to go, she's going to have to disguise herself. But first, she's going to want to travel to Rec and see if she can get hold of Mainframe and get help from him to give her the passphrase. So, are either of the ladies going to come with her? I think not. I think the arrangement is going to be, she's going to take the fighter to... She's going to probably have to steal the fighter. Take the fighter to Rec. Get the information, take it to Farpoint, get the information, get the liquid, and come back. And then once she's back, she's going to have to fast talk her way through, I don't know, maybe Zephyr can help her with that to return. And then, or maybe Zephyr can take the Storm Swept out and like meet her at the edge of the system where the drift is, and just they can just pull the ship in, like the Raider, into the Storm Swept, so that nobody sees it, something like that. But I don't think we're ready for that yet. I think first thing she's got to do is go to Rec and talk to Mainframe. So Krista says, look, I think my friend Mainframe can help us here. And I think I need the passphrase to get into Farpoint. And Zephyr's like, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, they almost killed you the last time you were in there. And Krista says, well, what other choice do we have, right? So let me use my connection and let me use my friend and see, not use my friend, but let me talk to my friend and see if he can help me. So Krista gets back into the Storm Swept. Should she use the Storm Swept or should she use the fighter? I think she's going to use the Storm Swept. She's going to have to go back and forth. So Krista gets back into the Storm Swept, and she's going to fly to Rec and see if she can meet with Mainframe. So the first step she has to do is set a course. And we get a strong hit. We can't get any extra momentum, but the destination and the situation favor us. So she gets to what is this, Rec, and she lands, and as she's coming in, right, she radios in, and they know her there, and she radios in, and she contacts Mainframe, and she says, Mainframe, it's your old buddy Krista. Let's meet for drinks at the cantina, and I've got a favor to ask you. And Mainframe says, okay, I'll meet you there. And so a little while later, they're in the cantina. Now, he's a +1 technician, so he's a hacker, right? So he can do some hacking for her. And what he's going to need to do is hack into the system here at Farpoint and see if he can find the passphrase, right? So this is going to be gather information. So Krista sits down with him and she says, look, I don't want to tell you the details, but I'm going to need to get into Farpoint again. And Mainframe's like, are you crazy? You remember what happened to us last time? And she says, look, I know, but I'm going to need to get into Farpoint again. So I don't want to give you any details because it could be a lot of trouble. And he says, no kidding. And she says, but what I really need is, and he says, you need another passphrase to get through, don't you? And she says, yeah. And he says, well, remember, they cycle them every so often, so I can try to get you the passphrase, but I don't know how long it's going to last. You're going to have to use it quickly. Every couple of weeks, they change it. And she says, that's no problem. I'm going to use it right away. So Mainframe says, all right, come with me. Let's go to my apartment, and we'll use my computer system to try to hack in. So they go to his apartment, and he logs in, and he starts typing in doing stuff on the keyboard and hacking. So we're going to gather information to see, can they find the passphrase. And you get +1 because mainframe is her connection, and he's +1 for hacking. And they're hacking. So roll wits, and we get a strong hit. Story clue. Do we get anything extra? So we get what we wanted. Oh, interesting. This doesn't work. Oh, it worked, and I hit it 3 times. So we're just going to take the first one. It involves a hidden or mysterious person, and we'll delete these others. Involves a hidden or mysterious person. No, Arnev's dead. Shelton's now dead. Huh. What if Shelton's still alive? I don't know. A hidden or mysterious person. Maybe it's who has the liquid? But why would mainframe know that? That doesn't make any sense. I need some more help, Oracle. Action and theme. Search advantage. Okay. I mean, I guess this involves mainframe, right? He's sort of a hidden, mysterious person. He's a hacker, and his search gave her an advantage. So, yeah, they get the passphrase, and I think because it's a strong hit, it'll still be active when she gets there. So now she's going to get back in the Storm Swept. This is taking a couple of days here. And she's going to fly back to Relic Station. So let's set a course. Stop it. And we get a weak hit. So I think it takes her a while to go through the drift just to stop a couple of times. And this is yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It took her a couple of days to get here and a couple of days to get back. So this is costing her some momentum. It's taking a while to do this. And so now what she's going to do is she's going to give Zephyr the instructions to take the Storm Swept. She's going to Dagger, actually, right? Dagger knows how to fly the Storm Swept because she's been with Krista. She's going to have Dagger pilot and Zephyr go out, and they're going to go out into like the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, right? And wait there with the Storm Swept. And Krista is going to, in the next episode, have to steal the Raider, that Stinger ship that's sitting there from the Federation, and fly it out and get it inside the Storm Swept so nobody knows where it is, and then they're safe. And then they're going to take the Storm Swept over here, and then launch that Stinger ship, and those two will stay on the edge of the solar system waiting while Krista goes into Farpoint Station. So, but this episode's been a little long, so let's stop there. I've been sort of reaching, and I apologize for that, but I'm trying to make this final quest kind of cool. So we've got the passphrase, and the next step is going to be, whoops, no. How do I undo this? I just wanted to hit the edit button. We got to get to Farpoint and get in there, and then see if we can find the uncanny Quicksilver. And I'll have to bring up the delve from Farpoint because we know where some places are, and we'll add more to the map next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We're getting there. We have a few more steps to go. My guess would be Farpoint next time. Vault. Between Farpoint and the Vault, probably about 4 more episodes, and then it'll be time to see if we can make our progress move and finish the story. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Starforged Alpha Cluster.